Okay, these are the supplies that I got from Crutchfield. This Bluetooth stereo. This is the kit that came with it. The number is NDK767. This is the adapter to hook up to the Bose interface so you can continue to use it. There's the number there. And then this is for the steering wheel control. It's the SWC1. And you can actually update that, the firmware, which I'd recommend doing before putting in the car. And then on Crutchfield it said I needed an antenna adapter, although I'm not sure if that's the case, but it was only a few bucks when I was checking out, so I just added it on. I ended up getting some extra crimp caps off Amazon, and then this trim removal toolkit. Okay, so as far as getting the dash removed, we'll need to take off this top part and then this other trim. I've gone ahead and started this first part by putting a screwdriver in there and then pushing to the right and pulling back out and popping this side off, and then the rest of it should come out pretty easily. Alright, so once just gently pulled that out, there was a cable attached to the back. That plug, you just push in from the bottom side and the plug comes out easy enough. And then we need to undo a screw there and a screw here. And then once those two screws are removed, just work the way around the panel like this. And then there will be some connectors on the back that we'll have to unplug, but I can't do this one-handed, so I'm going to. Okay, so once we pull it out a ways, there's this plug into the left hand right there that we just unhooked. There's one more just kind of in there on the back that we will get to. There was one down here on the heat knob we pulled off, and there was another one here on the cigarette lighter that we took off, and then there's one more going to the light in the little coin tray that I'll pop off here as well. Okay, so once the rest of those are connected and popped off, there'll be 4 screws, one there, and then on the underside, I'm sorry my light isn't better, but there's one there and one back in there that we'll just need to take those out. Okay, so went ahead and undid those 4 screws, then just pulled it forward, and there's going to be those 4 connectors on, well, there's actually 3 connectors, those 3 white connectors, and black, and then the red connector there that we need to unhook. Alright, and then as far as the earlier supplies, this is kind of midway through. Let's just have the amp converter. This is the controls for the steering wheel, and then this is the unit that goes to the new aftermarket stereo. And it's just a matter of matching up colored wires to each other. I'll show you more in detail after I finish. But so what I had to do is, you strip off about. So you strip off about a ½ inch of these, and then you will I had some purple ones here that were done. Twist together, and then you put a crimp cap over the top, and then you'll crimp the section right there with some crimpers to make sure it gets a good connection. Anyway, I'll show you the complete everything hooked up when I'm done in pretty good detail. Okay, so now I have everything pretty well crimped together. The purples, greens. On the 2 ends that go to the receptacles in the car, the colors matched up. You have 4. Well, some actually came pre-crimped. The 2 wires that didn't come pre-crimped on one harness was you just connect it with the, well, one will be ground to connect together when I connect these other grounds together for the steering wheel control. I have about 3 or 4 grounds that I'm just going to wire together, and then this blue, striped blue the striped blue. This other one has the red is the 12 volt with the ignition. The orange is the dimmer, and then the yellow is the constant 12 volt connection. So at this point I have more wires on my access, or not access, yeah, I have my access that I have to splice into this. This is the one that was going for the steering wheel control and the OEM unit, and so you need to splice those wires in with these wires, and then a jack goes into the back of the unit, the Alpine stereo that I have. The bracket is ready to install. Have everything set up that way, so the sleeve is in there nice and firm, or nice and tight. And I forgot to mention the wiring instructions for the steering wheel control unit. It's downloaded online. It shows you the plug wires, which looks pretty well like the plug setup that I have here, minus the wire on the diagram. Shows there's a wire up in this corner, which mine doesn't have, but the rest of these are in the exact location that's on the picture, so I just got to hook them up as directed. Alright, so I've got everything installed. I kind of tucked everything down in there. I did end up needing to use the you do actually, well, for this Alpine you will need that antenna adapter. It just hooks up right there, and you got the other end that plugs into the back of the stereo. I went ahead and left the, you can kind of see there in the corner, that's my steering wheel control box. I left that just kind of poking out at the back. I mean, I can tuck that up in there a little further, but you can update the firmware, so I wanted it available if I ever wanted to update it at all and have it easy to access. And I can also tinker with it if I needed to. Like, for example, it didn't work the first time, so I had to turn the key on, hit the reset button, and let up, and then I just pushed up on my volume on the steering knob, and then it auto-detected my car just fine. So I'm just going to leave that in a handy place for now. Went ahead and got the stereo installed there. I did adjust the gain on that amplifier adapter. There was those 4 screws on top. The instructions on that were pretty straightforward. So I adjusted those. Now I'm just tucking everything back in, hooking it back up, and it all put back together.